Hello, maybe one more time. This is the Recruit Your Life Applications Officer. Maybe one more time I'll open up my mouth about Colin Flaherty. Um, I want to thank all the commentators. This shouldn't take long. I just want to thank you for your comments. Although I feel that we didn't get anywhere. Number one. And number two, um, you still didn't answer my main question. My main question was, let me say that first. My main question was, why isn't anybody else qualified to talk about black folks except Colin Flaherty? That was my question. I asked you, are black people qualified to talk about black people? That's what I want to know. That was my question. My question was, why do you wait till I put Colin Flaherty in the title for you to come and discuss the issues of black people? I talk about black people all the time on this channel. But in order for people to come to my channel, you can go to Frank McTowell and ask him. In order for people to come to my channel, I have to put Colin Flaherty in a title, and then when I do that, they come in without even listening to anything I'm saying. They tell me what's wrong with me criticizing Colin Flaherty. I did not really criticize Colin Flaherty. I said one thing. Now, I did criticize Colin Flaherty in the very first video that I did on this subject, and I might have sounded kind of angry when I did. But on this one, I asked you one question. I said, what did I say? I only said one thing about, I said this about Colin Flaherty. On this last one I just did, I says, I'm trying to help black people. I'm not trying to parade them, okay, for comedy. And not come up with a solution to how we're going to fix this. And what did I get? I got everybody doing circles around what I'm trying to get to. My point was, is there anybody that cares? If there is anyone that cares, please rise. Okay? I don't know how much time I have because I have 3 other videos that are processing at the same time I'm doing this one. So I'm going to be quick. Anyone who cares about black people, I'm talking to those that supposedly aren't a racist, don't have a racist bone in their body. If you care about black America and you just want them to grow up, as one person said on the comment section, if you just want them to stop the madness, what I call the blackness, the religion of racism, please stand up and tell me your solution. Give me a clue. But if you just don't feel that it's your job to like black people, it's your job to just complain about the fact that they're out there doing things that nobody is doing but them, namely violent crimes against mainly white people because they think that this is the age to have a race war. Meanwhile, you got all these other people coming into this country. They don't like white people either. White people, why don't nobody like you? I'd like to know that. The Muslims want to kill you. The Asians just want to take you over, okay? The Africans come over here. They don't like black people or white people. You know, I mean, you got all the Spanish people don't like you. You know, the Native Americans, oh, they hate you worse than blacks do. They just ain't putting their hands on you till you go to walking into one of them reservations with your hands on your hips. And oh yeah, the person that commented about Native Americans, because I did another video last night which I have to edit, and I mentioned Native Americans in part 2 of that video, and you are absolutely right. You can tell black people to go back to Africa. You can tell Asian people to go back to Asia. You can tell Spanish people to go back to Spain. But where are you going to tell the Native Americans go if you think that the Native Americans are multiculturalizing our nation and turning it into, you know, a Indian nation or whatever? Where are you going to tell the Native Americans to go? I mean, they were here, I'm assuming, first. So you're right. You're absolutely right. You know, black people complain about being told to go back to Africa, but hey, at least you got somewhere to go. Where's these Native Americans going to go? Now, I'm assuming the Native Americans are part Asian. They're an Asian culture that started and ended right here. So, quote me, teach me some history. Give me a little history lesson on white people. I'm not sure. All I know is, if you feel that the only thing that needs to be done about the problems with black people is for them to stop committing crime, I rest my case. Because that's not going to solve it. And if you feel that you have a right to be racist, because in the comments section, a lot of the people that are talking, not that many, but the ones that are, you know, you don't sound like a, you don't sound like you really like black people. You sound like you just, you know, you just, I don't know, you just don't sound like you like them too well. And the best rhetoric I've heard, the most honest rhetoric I heard coming from a white person about this issue wasn't on YouTube. It was to my face, and it was that we don't have to like black people. There's no law that says we have to like black people. Show me a law that says we have to like black people. But I respect you, okay, because I'm a respectable person, but I don't have to like you. I've had a white person tell me that to my face, and I didn't know what to say. In my mind, I'm thinking, WTF. But he was, you know, I mean, there is no law that says white people have to like us. There's no law that says that. But I just want to know your heart. I don't want to know how righteous Colin Flaherty is. That's not my point in bringing it back up. My point is, why did you wait till I mention his name like he's the freaking god of black people? Or he's the leader of white people? You make me think that the Colin Flaherty channel, you make black people think when they come to the Colin Flaherty channel, and when they all pile up on my channel and I mention his name, you make us think that Colin Flaherty is holding a private racist society of white people. Because these white people will go off if you don't agree with anything that goes on the Colin Flaherty channel. It could be anything. But I've seen white people go to channels where black folks are talking about black people. I've seen them go to Tommy Sotomayor's channel. I've seen them go to uh, Pastor Peterson's channel. He's another black person that is hard on black folks, and there's my man Fearless and different ones. We tell it like it is. We don't cover up for black people. We tell it the way it is. And when people come to our channels, there might be 1 out of 100 that'll sit there and bring up his hate speech when they ain't got nothing to do with what we talking about. Because he ain't looking at the video, he's looking at the fact that a black man is discussing racial issues, and for a black man to even discuss it just makes him mad. But you people that made comments, the comments that I want to know is this thing right here, your heart. What do you want for this country? Just like I've done a whole video segment, and I'm getting ready to do my last and final one. I got my notes right in front of me here. Getting ready to do my last one on culture clash in this country. Where were the Colin Flaherty fans when I did culture clash? Where were the Colin Flaherty fans when I talked about the black community, what it is and what it's not? When I talked about blackness and the demonic entity that plagues the black community, and the fact that blacks don't want to evolve, and all these different things. Where were the Colin Flaherty fans? I have to put his name in the title in order to get comments, and then when I get them, they're comments that are just like pointing at me, making me the bad guy. But I'm not really putting down Colin Flaherty. I'm putting down the lack of peace that dwells among us. But in closing, if you feel that it's okay for white people to be racist, okay, as long as they don't put their hands on black people, that's a new thing. But if that's the way white people are today, I want to know. Tell me. Be honest. Say it. DeRoy Cruz, I'm racist. I don't really like black people. Say it. Be honest. I really don't like black people. I had one guy, and I deleted him because he said some other things before he was honest with me. So I had to delete him. But I had one guy tell me, hey, dude, I'm sorry, I just don't like you. Okay? And that's fine. But at least he was honest. I want you to be honest. I want to know. I want to see white people stick their hair out on their chest and say it. Are you racist? Do you feel you have a right to be racist? And it's not your job to like black people, but you respect black people because they live here just like you. You just don't want them in your neighborhood. You don't want them doing violence to your race. Come out and say it like it is, and quit trying to use someone else's faults to cover up your own. Let me say that again. Quit trying to use somebody else's faults to cover up your own. And just be honest about who you are. Don't tell me about black people. I'm doing that. That's what I do whenever I mention the word black on this channel. I want you to tell me about right here, your heart, so that I can say, okay, well, if that's the way you feel, then you're no better. You're not helping. And you know that's what I'm going to say. That's why you don't want to say it. But still, at least, let's be honest. Innocence is honest. Innocence is honest. Okay? The good guys are honest. Okay? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. I was honest in the last video I just did. And the ones I did before that, especially about this issue right here. I'm very honest. Honest is the best policy. The first thing we need to do is be honest. And then from being honest, then we can work on a solution after everybody's honest. But everybody needs to be honest. And black people live their life always thinking that white people hate them more than they hate other races. You want to explain to me, white people, why they might think that? And don't worry, I'm asking them the same thing. But black people live their lives thinking that white people hate them more than they hate any other race. Because you didn't put the Asians through slavery. You didn't put the Native Americans through slavery. You didn't put the Arabs through slavery, although you should have. That's another video. But, you know, see, I'm honest. See, I said that. I'm honest. How I feel about not so much Arab people, but the whole idea of Muslim takeover and the people in this country that felt that September 11 was justified. Those are the people that I will tell them to their face, go back to your own daggone country. You think September 11 was justified? Okay? You can kiss Donald Trump's behind all you want to. I don't care whether you're Republican or Democrat. You think 9/11 was justified? Okay? Go back in your own country and you can take any black person that thinks, that agrees with you, he can go with you. Okay? But I love people that love this country and don't feel that this country should be flipped around just for them. Just for them. Forget everybody else. Okay? So, and for me, it's not about color. Because I wasn't born worrying about color. I didn't grow up worrying about color. My culture isn't black culture. It isn't Uncle Tom culture. It's not, culture of the rich and famous or anything. And my culture is Christian culture. And anybody that knows enough about the Bible and the cross and the churches in their community, they know that more black people have less problems, less black problems when they become Christians. And the churches, the white and black churches, are the first to nail down this whole thing of racism. This whole, they're the first to really come together and be able to have a community of peace between them because of Christ. See? But you secular people who don't believe in God, well, that just gives you, then yeah, okay, if there's no God, it must be the apes that were diseased, that had the bad IQs that created black folks, or that black folks evolved from, or maybe they didn't evolve from apes. Maybe they evolved from something else. Or like the Mormons believe, maybe they was on some planet. They're not necessarily human. Honesty is the best policy. Once we're honest, then we can work on a solution. But I want to know your heart. I don't want to know how much you want to threaten me or anybody else that would dare say anything wrong about Colin Flaherty. I want to know your heart for other races of this country. I'm done. So, I'm going to leave you with that. God bless you. Thanks for watching. Thanks again for your comments. All of you. The ones that shared your heart, the ones that shared your hate, the ones that said, hey, good job. Okay? Thank you all. Talk to you soon. God bless.